A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and, well, it's yet another one of those occasions in my time. So I feel like I might as well get this part out of the way as well, because I have already mentioned a little bit about that in another pretty long thread of topics that I had to talk about, and this was shortly before I had released the three-parter to GWK 11:11 p.m., The Great Fallout Shelter Escapade, as I couldn't really combine all those together. So I'd make it 11 hours, 11 minutes in whole. So instead I had just released it recently as a three-part GWK special. So now that that's out of the way, today is March 20th of 2021. And there are a couple things that I would also like to talk about while I'm here, so let's just get some things out of the way. First of all, it's getting close to when Gaming with Kaiju vs. Neo Face Cam Specials Insurgents, The Enlightening Venture, is going to begin. It's going to be a couple weeks from now before then, but I've got lots of time to prepare for all that. Also, MegaPicks Weekly had just ended yesterday at 69 episodes, so 69 days spent, 69 episodes, 69 hours, if you will. I mean, good luck trying to marathon through all that, if you want to do that. But, of course, that's pretty much out of the way now. So I won't have too much else to worry about when it comes to data consumption and data storage problems that I've had. Like with that screenshot that I took of, well, when I was getting dangerously low in both ways. Because I only have two large hard drives that are able to store terabytes worth of information and data. So now that MegaPicks Weekly is out of the way, I could consider myself to be alright there. Also, Hot Wheels Hilarity Season 5 is going to be coming to a close as well. Probably around the same time that The Enlightening Venture is going to begin, so I'll be sure to have myself some more fun making more Hot Wheels Hilarity content. Even though I've kind of been slacking off the last month or so, it's safe to say that I'm probably more than willing to marathon and work a lot of this off just to get through the rest of it until like April comes by. So that's another thing I'd probably like to say right away. Also, because of how much I've been working on with Super Leftovers and, well, the new upscaled Leftovers, it seems that I'm actually draining a lot of Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo footage out of, well, my hard drive. So slowly but surely I'm draining, well, all that extra space that had been taken up. So this way I can make more space for other projects. I've also been doing a lot of pre-work on a bunch of other things. Survival of No Limits, as well as another upcoming series of mine, Multiple Wheels of Steel, which, can't forget, it'll start next year. But I've already been doing a lot of, well, work on it before then. About 3 or 4 episodes worth of stuff has pretty much been put together already, so I could say for sure that the first couple weeks during the time in early 2022 are surely going to be a bit easier than I originally felt like it was going to be. But now is where I might as well get on down to some real important business. Because once again, I've mentioned this problem before, but now's the time where I want to go into greater detail on that. So let's just get it on. YouTube's uploading system. The way that it's been working for the last several months right now has surely been, I don't know, it's a whole nother story. And the way I see it, it really has not very much been much easier. The new uploading system is basically more of just drag or drop and individually working on each episode while going on the same browser, which can be kind of a tedious way to go through it, because most of the time, whenever the bulk uploader was around before then, you could just drag or drop multiple files and they could pretty much have them put out in order. And in order is pretty much another big thing that I like to have as a priority. But when it gets to that, with this new uploading system, with the new Studio Beta, which I'm pretty sure might be in the alpha stage by now, it's plausible that that is just a big problem, because not only would I have to worry about some things being put out of order, but I'd also have to worry about the browser crashing or freezing at some point. That's another big problem. And most of the time when it comes to upload times, it's usually a lot different for each file. Mostly dependent on how complicated it is, how much data it takes up. A lot of times whenever I've made MegaPicks Weekly episodes, they can usually be about 5, 6, 7 gigabytes a piece. And most of the time they can usually take up to 3, 4 hours to upload all the way. And this can be further compounded by how many files I usually upload every day. Here in March 2021, just to give out a good reference of how it seems to work these days, I have 4 emergency stockpile episodes, 4 mainline season 6 episodes of GWK, so that's 8 episodes of GWK that I'm already uploading every day now. But it is going to change in April. I happen to have monthly changes set upon in April. But again, the quantity of the videos that I happen to have uploaded to this new uploader, I have to drag or drop them individually pretty much. And even more worrisome, and I guess something that's worth putting out anxiety on my life, would be the fact that, again, it seems to upload out of order because some files can upload faster than others, and sometimes it can be spontaneous, where some files can go very, very slow, even though it's obvious that they're a lot smaller in data size than the MegaPicks Weekly episode, because they obviously take the longest. But I should probably mention that when it came time to uploading the 3-part 11:11 p.m. The Great Fallout Shelter Escapade GWK special, they were different because, like I said, the first part was just a few hours long, the second one was a little longer than that, and the third one was even longer than both of them combined. So, that's pretty much just that. The third one did take at least 14 hours just to upload completely. But even with that in mind, I just couldn't really make much sense of the fact that, well, the bulk uploader being gone, I mean, that was very helpful. With dragging and dropping multiple files at once, you could basically see them all in action. And even better than that, you can basically have them all uploaded in order, as the one on the top basically starts rendering, uploading, and processing first. Then the second one does the same thing, then the third one, the fourth, fifth, sixth, and onwards. Usually dependent with how many that you upload every time. But when it came time for the bulk uploader, in most circumstances, I actually find it to be a lot easier to handle, and also for times where I don't need to be sitting down in front of the laptop the whole time just to manage the uploading process. I could just drag or drop and usually leave them there. Sometimes I would come back and end up putting in all the details like the title work and the description, as well as the tags. And speaking of tags, for this new uploader system, they seem to be lacking. Mostly because they are not featured in like the main page of the uploading process. You'd have to go onto a separate page to do that. There are 3 pages that you'd have to scroll through by clicking on the next button and then clicking on finish. This way it lets you know that it's going to continue uploading until then it starts processing and all that good stuff. With a bulk uploader, you don't have to start scrolling through a bunch of pages just to ensure that it's going to upload correctly. And even more so with the fact that with the bulk uploader, you can easily have access to everything you need to use. The title, description, tags, audience settings, and also the premiere switch. You know, speaking of premieres, I don't necessarily like to have that in mind because whenever my episodes premiere to the world, they just premiere right when I have them uploaded. So that's just another, I guess, senseless thing that we don't really need to have. Same with the COPPA crap. What kind of censorship sense does that make? To try and cancel us out. I mean, this is just crap. Absolute crap. I mean, I really hate this. This new uploader system is not only going to force me to sit in front of a computer all morning and all afternoon long just to manage the uploading process every single day, but not only that, but I'd have to pretty much worry about what goes on in the background, because that can also compound how long it's going to take for even just one video to upload. Most of the time, whenever I have just one single file on, it usually can get pretty easy, kind of fast and all that good stuff. But I guess because of the data cache being cropped up with all these pages and the like that are open, all these tabs that I have situated, and all these files that I have uploading at the same time, I guess that's justifiable, but I really do not want to have that kind of problem, no matter what happens. So here's the thing, I mean, something else that's probably worse though, would be the fact that there's this little tab that appears in the bottom right corner letting you know what files are currently uploading right now, and sometimes it also tells you how long certain files are going to take to upload, and not to mention a percentage. The percentage alone is what makes me feel worried and concerned at the same time, because especially when it comes down to what kind of videos are going to get uploaded before others are, and more importantly, how fast are some of them going to be. There are oftentimes these problems where some files, all of a sudden, they end up speeding up the loading process, and as a result, they can pretty much overtake some files that I did not want to be out of order. Which, again, it's a bad problem, but I can't really find a good way to try and get around that problem because, well, that's just how I feel about this new uploader system. With the bulk uploader gone, there's been a lot of handy, convenient things that you pretty much have with you all the time now just disappeared without a trace. With the bulk uploader gone, we're seeing a lot of pros disappear and some new cons starting to fill in, which is another big problem. I mean, aside from the COPPA, aside from, well, the many things that most YouTubers are doing that should have been banned a long time ago, alongside the many other things that have happened, it makes me wonder, why am I still on the platform to begin with? Why did I even bother continuing my work on the platform after it had been announced that COPPA was going to take over the rules? I mean, what sense does that make? I don't even know about you, but I feel like I could have spent my time way more wisely. I could have played outside instead of do all this. I could have driven around the entire country and probably shattered a few records here and there. I probably could have earned some sort of award or degree in college, but instead I'm spending my whole life wasting away my brains. I mean, that's just what happens when you have a lot of new problems going into play. I really feel terrible about all this. The fact that my content is not at all measuring up and viewership is just stagnant. I mean, what's the point in going on any further? Well, you know what? To answer my own question, I do what I must do. Kaiju Force Neo has been going on for 16 solid years, and with a YouTube channel that's been around for 13 years almost, I'm setting a great example of being around here, making content of all sorts, allowing people to know that I have a lot of workship going on. I have so much that I've done. My labor certainly was not free, so I'd probably just ask that your viewership is not free either. Donating to me, to any of my assistants, would also be helpful. In addition to just watching my content altogether, I feel like donating maybe just $1, $5, $10, something else like that. It would also be helpful. So overall, the bulk uploader needs to come back. Lots of things need to come back. We need to have the right kind of creators who don't put themselves out there in the public eye for the wrong reasons. We need to have people who have been on the internet for nothing other than just straight up terrorism, bullying, harassment, and so many other things to be removed from the platform completely and never allowed to be on there again. Not even to just watch videos, let alone put their faces out there for the world to see. We need so many things done to the internet. So much so that it could take decades to work, but I'm more than willing to call up a huge favor to have the internet permanently shut down. Because that's one thing in our life that we absolutely did not need. Yet somehow we didn't listen to ourselves. So, cancel culture also is a problem. I feel betrayed by my own people. I stand up for a lot of things, yet so many people out there are just doing the exact opposite of what we want to do with America. As a libertarian, I am so ashamed to have these kind of people around me who also think of the same thing. But enough about that. It's time to keep moving forward and just continue on with my content. Someday, somehow, something's going to happen. Something is going to happen, whether it's good or it's terrible. I can't really be sure what it is, but let's not go too far into that. Well, that's going to be it for right now, but there are going to be a few other things that I'll also be talking about soon enough. But if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.